Denmark took over the rotating presidency of the European Union at the beginning of the month, and its Social Democrat Prime Minister stands out in a Europe dominated by the right. Helle Thorning-Schmidt recently presented her country's programme for the next 6 months to the European Parliament. Euronews caught up with her there and began with the new budgetary compact.
Prime Minister, first of all, thank you for being with us on Euronews. This fiscal pact, being shaped by 26 member states, is supposed to be the solution to the crisis, but it is already widely seen as insufficient.
I think the Fiscal Act is seen as not happening fast enough, and that's why we are working very hard. Everyone is working very hard for the Fiscal Compact to be adopted as soon as possible, so there's a firm ground under our debt crisis, and also reminding us all that each member state have to keep track of their economy, have to have the necessary responsibility in terms of their economy. That is one of the reasons why Denmark, which is not a Euro country, are planning to join as much as possible the new discipline of the Fiscal Compact.
But we already know that it has been watered down a lot, that there will be exemptions to the discipline, that the Commission won't play the big part, that the European Court won't play a big part either. I mean, isn't this a bit disappointing?
This is being negotiated, this is a work in progress, and I think it is too early to judge whether it's an improvement or not. I am convinced that more discipline, more focus on each member state keeping their economy in order is a good thing for Europe, because it's a good thing for the euro.
There's nothing really new about this pact. The Commission says that about 95% of what is in the pact did not require a new treaty. So why such a risky move? Because some countries, including Denmark, might have to hold a referendum.
We don't have that debate at this stage, because it is obvious that we want to see the result first. I don't envisage a referendum at all, but we need to see the result, and it is the resolve of the Danish government that we want to join as much as possible.
During last summit, there were leaks about the way President Sarkozy snubbed you as a newcomer and your country as a non-Euro member. Is the Danish EU presidency bound to be overshadowed by France and Germany when it comes to the dealing with the crisis?
Well, first of all, I think it's important not to believe everything you read in the press. That's always a good advice. But also, we should appreciate that the Euro member states have taken a huge responsibility. People always say, oh, Merkel, she's deciding too much, she's taking too much upon herself. I appreciate that the biggest member states of all of us is actually taking a big responsibility, and I think we should not look down on that and scorn that. We should appreciate it.
You are one of the very few left-wing leaders in Europe at the moment, and you do stress the importance of reviving growth in these times of austerity. What exactly and concretely are you trying to achieve in less than 6 months?
We need to focus on how to get new jobs, new growth in Europe. One of the ways of doing that is to revive the single market. The internal market has been one of the biggest successes of our union, and it is my position that if we revive that, renew our internal market, for example by adopting the roaming directive, the energy efficiency directive, other concrete directives, then we have a chance of creating a new foundation of new growth and new jobs in Europe.
So this is about legislation, but concrete incentives in less than 6 months?
But directives and dossiers on the tables, that is concrete, tangible results that can make a difference for the European citizens. Danish presidency is about getting results for Europe, getting results so we can see there is a path out of this crisis, a path where we again have growth and prosperity and jobs in Europe, and to do that we need to revive the internal market.
Denmark has 4 opt-outs on European policy: monetary union, defence, home and justice, and EU citizenship. Do you plan to give up any of these, and if so, when?
We are planning to renew the discussion on the home and justice affairs and also the defence policies. I've been of the view for many years, actually since '92, that it would be better for Denmark and Danes to be part of these areas as well as the euro. And we will debate that with the Danes, and it is our plan to put that to a referendum.
So you talked about the euro too, because Denmark is quite dependent on the rest of Europe, and actually the Danish crown is pegged to the euro.
Yeah.
So isn't it a bit an illusion for Danes to think that they are maybe safer or more autonomous without the single currency?
I'm in favour of the euro, have been for many years, and I think it would be good for Danish economy to be part of the euro. But I also must say this is not a debate. The time is not for that debate right now. The Danish kroner is pegged to the euro. We will continue to be so, and that is good for the Danish economy at this stage.
One question about Hungary. The Commission has launched the procedure against the government for the damage being done to the state of law. Should Europe isolate Hungary? The European Parliament is ambiguous since most states are quite silent on this issue.
I think it would be a huge mistake to isolate a member state where you want to say something to that member state. What is happening right now is the correct way of approaching a country that you think is not in line with our treaties. We have the Commission, whose job it is, whose raison d'être it is to make sure that the treaties are being kept, and now they have decided to start an infringement procedure against Hungary. That's the correct way of doing it, and the Danish presidency have backed that way of doing it all through this discussion that we had for the last weeks.
So do you hope that the government will come in line with what the Commission is asking for?
Yeah, that goes without saying, that all member states of our union, they have to comply with the rules that they have signed up to. That goes for all our rules, but particularly the core of our rules, which is about democracy, pluralism, and all these things that are so important values for our union.
Statsminister, mange tak.
Thank you very much. Tak.